I'm Dr. William again from the Dow Garden medical staff at the Pakwa Clinic. And this lecture I'd like to talk to you about the simple and easy home test that you can do to see if a food is bothering you or whether it's helping you. We had mentioned before about some food items maybe altering your pH to some degree or that type of idea. And actually, a much better way of checking to see if a food is bothering you, or a much easier way, is just to check your pulse. Okay, so this is called the Kolka pulse test. It's very old, it's developed by a Dr. Kolka a long, long time ago. And all it simply does is have you measure your pulse. So in particular, I'm demonstrating what's called the radial pulse right here on the wrist. Left or right is immaterial. If you want to use the carotid pulse up here, that's up to you. A lot of people don't like to sit here with their fingers in their neck, so I always recommend people use the pulse by the wrist. All you do is you find your pulse. You measure the pulse in a what we call clean state, or when you haven't been exercising or excited or anything like that. So a very calm, peaceful time. You do a little meditation or just relax and check your pulse. And you get a pulse measure for 1 minute. Now you can do it easier if you measure for 15 seconds and then times the number by 4. Once you get this baseline pulse, you can then eat something. Single food items are the easiest to check for versus a meal with many different things. So let's use for this example a piece of chicken. And you want to know if you have any problems for this particular food item. After taking the food in, wait about 10 minutes and check your pulse again. If you're having an allergy or a sensitivity to this, or if it's bothering you in any way, the pulse speed will increase. Now, this is what I call poor man's heart rate variability. The problem with this test, or the shortcomings of this test, is when you eat something to when you take your pulse again, if you have any activity, any excitement, any outside influences, this could also make your pulse go up. This could even be thinking. You know, if you think about something that makes you angry or upset, this could influence your pulse. So is the test accurate? No, it's not a what we call a science-based test, because there are so many variabilities that can occur, but it gives people an idea that possibly this food could be bothering them. Also, I would tell people, if they're doing this, to note, to have a little log, to write down how you feel. Sometimes how we feel emotionally could be a sign that something is bothering you. Another test that you can do is taking your temperature. Temperature is actually a very good test on seeing how well a certain food item influences your metabolism. Your metabolism is how you utilize the things that you take in, and whether they're being used by your body for proper function. And all that it requires is a simple thermometer. It could be digital, it could be a mercury thermometer. The digital thermometers work much faster, and the availability of digital thermometers is ubiquitous or throughout the world, whereas mercury thermometers are more difficult to find today. And the same thing, before you eat something, you just take your temperature, put it, let's say it's in the mouth, you take your temperature in the mouth and you get a particular temperature reading. Now, if your temperature is generally low, and you can Google the different Fahrenheit and centigrade scales for low, and then you eat something, you wait 10 to 20 minutes, you check your temperature again. This is not based upon how you feel, or if you're doing something small, like moving around. If you do run or do some exercise right after, this will influence the test. However, if you're pretty calm afterwards, taking the temperature 10 to 20 minutes afterwards and seeing if your temperature has improved or gone up. And this can then tell you that the food that you're using is stimulating thyroid activity and promoting metabolism, versus no change, and that food item probably is not benefiting you in any way. It's not affecting your thyroid or your metabolism. And if your goal is to burn fat, lose weight, you may want to consider using this as a guide to which foods to focus on that will stimulate metabolism much more than some other food in which you have no change in your temperature. Yes, you can combine both tests together. If you have the time, they are time consuming. That is the downside to this, because if you're eating many different foods, you have to check these foods individually. However, they are simple, they're practically free, and easy to do. And I always tell people, please have a piece of paper ready to write down what you find so that you know what's going on, and you can track it yourself. You're your best own doctor. You know how you feel after eating something, and so why not optimize the food that you take in to improve your health. I hope you find this information useful, and again, if you have any questions, please feel free to contact Dal Garden medical staff at the Pakwa Clinic, and we'll be happy to assist you. Sawasdee Krap.